Good morning, everyone. Meteorologist Ted Keller. I will be out storm chasing along the I-35 corridor today, North Texas to Oklahoma, maybe southern Kansas. It depends on what I see on the way. Anyway, I did want to bring you an update on what I expect in the Ozarks severe weather-wise. This has had some consistency, and I just want to make you aware that beginning around midnight, 1 a.m. through the overnight hours, thunderstorms will be active in the Ozarks and severe. So a lot of times we release our guard at night, and generally speaking, thunderstorms do decrease in intensity. But in this particular case, I would be a little bit more cautious overnight tonight for some supercells that can really hold together, and I'll explain all that in a minute. First of all, here's the latest outlook for today. This hasn't changed a whole lot. There's some uncertainty among forecasters, and I can see why, about raising this to a high risk. Certainly, there is a lot of unstable air and jet stream winds, but there are some limiting factors too, so it stays as a moderate risk for areas just out, mostly over Kansas and Oklahoma. But like yesterday, this has been extended into extreme western Missouri with the risk right below that, which is enhanced in covering just about all of the Ozarks. And if you're not in that, you're in slight. So yes, severe weather is going to be a thing. Now keep in mind that when this forecast is issued, it's meant to go till 7 a.m. the next morning. And a lot of people miss that. So when you see a moderate risk of severe weather like that, you think, oh my gosh, it's 9 a.m. We're going to have severe thunderstorms any minute. Of course, the atmosphere doesn't generally work that way. Sometimes it does. But mostly when you see these outlooks, they're meant for later on in the day during the heating time, or a lot of times, the overnight hours are overlooked. This is still valid till 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. So I just want you to know that this little nose right here is mostly talking about overnight activity for the Ozarks. So that's just one I wanted to get out there. The tornado risk is high and has been extended. 15% hatched area is pretty significant, but this 5% grew and went eastward a little bit overnight with the latest forecast. So that just kind of, again, reinforces the idea that some of these storms tonight might actually hold on to their tornadic potential. It is possible during the overnight hours. Can't stress that enough. They would be moving pretty much due from west to east, in case you're wondering what the direction of motion would be during that time. Let's take a look at some other products and see what we can glimmer from all this. This is how unstable the air will be over the Ozarks at about 1 a.m. So we're looking at Cape values well into the 2000s, almost 3000s. That's certainly sufficient enough to produce severe weather. One thing that happens at night is that convective inhibition kicks in. This variable right here talks about how hard it might be for updrafts to maintain themselves. When you start getting CINs, above 100 like that, that's hard. However, I think there may be some dynamic reasons why those storms will continue, even despite the fact that the overnight hours typically produce, it's harder to keep updrafts supported, at least from the surface of the ground. Aloft, it's not a problem. And the reason we care about the surface is because tornadoes are rooted generally in surface-based thunderstorms that have their base lower to the ground. So even though there may be thunderstorms ongoing and active during this time, these, it might be kind of hard to get surface-rooted storms, but not impossible. And I think the chances might be a little bit better tonight is basically the gist of what I'm saying. Let's take a look at a couple of things now, and a couple more things. First of all, the bulk shear is fine. So this is just what organizes severe storms. Basically, if it's purple, you're good. So southwest Missouri, this again is at 1 a.m., is looking great. If you look at the significant tornado parameter, it's actually showing up in southwest Missouri, southeast Kansas, northeast Oklahoma during this time. So again, some of these storms, and if you're wondering what storms I'm talking about, let's switch to that. So this is what I think the reflectivity will look like at, this is good at 1 a.m. Storms just entering west central Missouri. Pretty good updraft with that storm right there. Again, take the exactness with a grain of salt, but I've looked over several runs of this model over the past several hours, and they're fairly consistent. The last one is actually upped it a little bit. Let me take a look now. This is 2 a.m. This is 3 a.m. Here's 4 a.m. right here. Notice that some of these cells are still pretty active even at 4 o'clock in the morning. 5 a.m. Is right there. So yeah, from Missouri southward, I think that some of these cells will actually be at the very least strong wind and large hail, 2-inch hail producers as they slide through southwest Missouri. Again, this will all be in the overnight hours. So I just wanted to bring you that quick update. I will be on the road today, so if I get back at a reasonable time, I'll look at this again tonight, obviously, and then tomorrow we have another slight risk of severe weather across the Ozarks. Not including this. So after 7 a.m. in the afternoon hours, we're watching for more severe weather developments. So I'll bring you an update tomorrow morning as well. Signing off for now. Have a good day.